Good evening, people. Welcome to Reaching Out with Ed. I know what you guys are saying, especially you out there, Two Belt. Two Belt saying, I ain't hear no music. Well, folks, the reason why you didn't hear music is that we have power, but I guess a lightning bolt or something hit something. But anyway, we had a power surge and it took out the hard drives on one of our computer. So I want you guys to leave your comments at the, where about Dice do they leave the comments now? Under the video after we're off the air. I want you guys to leave your comments and answer the questions, and then I'll be able to read your comments and answer your questions and respond. I promise you. Leave your comments and respond under the video after the show end, and we put it up there. But Thursday we will have everything fixed for you by Thursday.
And they can still put comments in the chat. We just can't read them today.
Yeah, you still can put your comments in the chat. We just can't read them today. And Weston Lenderman was supposed to be my guest today, but his internet is down and everything's down, power's down around his house. We just was fortunate. I guess God want us to continue our podcast because even when we had a power surge and it knocked one of the breakers off, we had power everywhere except in the podcast room. We didn't have any internet or anything. So I just went out and tripped the breaker, and it came back on after about 15 seconds. I think you have to leave the breaker off for so long, and then after you leave it off for so long, then you click it back. You can't just go off and on like we used to do back in the day. You gotta actually leave it off for so long and then turn it back on. But anyway, we have power in the podcast room, but we did burn out the hard drive, so we won't be able to read your comments and we can't play music. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna proceed with our show. The name of this show today is Our Vote is Important. And so folks, I gotta say this, that prior to the election, I've said this before, is that every community knows how to consolidate power except for us. We do not know how to consolidate power. We are so saturated and so permeated that we can't come together. And because we can't come together, because those holes in us, we got to learn to consolidate our power. We got to come together. And what I mean by that, come together, is that we're going to have to start voting as a block. We keep getting in this group and that group. What we need to do is we need to be just in one group. That's a group that's like all of us. If all black people was to get together as opposed to going to this party and that party, but just get together, I promise you, if we was to get together, I am so impressed how when I passed by that church, by the old Firestone, by the Meridian Public Library, I'm so impressed how those people met that Sunday. The message that they told me is that they weren't talking about Daniel in the Lounge Den. They was in there discussing who they were going to vote for and how they was going to turn out the vote in this past election. That's what we got to start doing. And folks, I got to point out, in our community, that our ministers, they have failed us. You have failed us because you continue to talk about those same old stories every year, day in and day out. You're discussing the Bible and you're talking about those stories in the Bible, but you're not talking about nothing has changed in our community. Nothing has changed in the United States. I'm not telling you that what you're believing in is wrong. What I'm saying is that you're not going about it in a way that's going to be conducive for your community at large. Look at us. Look at the black community. Look at the state of the black community. We can't say a lot of good things about the black community. And the reason why we can't say that, is because we won't come together. We do not consolidate power. We have not done that. We have not learned to do that. And folks, we got to learn to do that. We got to learn to consolidate power. Just imagine, if 30% of the U.S. population of black folk, so say about 54 million black people, if 54 million black people was to vote as a block, we don't have to join the Democratic Party, Republican Party, or any party. I assure you that everybody will come to us. We don't have any power either. That's the reason why they're killing us. That's the reason why they treat us with deliberate indifference, because we don't have any power. We don't own anything. We don't own any banks. And I know we always got the deviation of the norm. We don't own any banks. We don't own any businesses, not any real business, especially in this community right here. Until we start owning things, we're going to continue to be treated like we don't matter. We don't matter because we don't impact them in any kind of way. And we're so busy arguing and finding out the differences amongst ourselves that we stay separated. Let's talk about the coming election on June the 8th. Folks, I hope that you make an informed choice. You have three people that are running for office. You have Robert Ray running as a Republican. You have Jimmy Smith running as a Democrat. You have Weston Linderman running as an independent. And folks, I got to say this is that you can go to Weston Linderman's page and he has his platform on it. He's telling you exactly what he's going to do and he got it in writing. That's like a contract, folk. I challenge any other person to do that that's running for office. Now, I gotta say this. If I talk about, changing the body, let's just go back. If the NAACP, I'm gonna just tell you what I'm told. The NAACP wants to have I guess they call it a community meeting, public meeting, where you come in or debate or whatever, where the different candidates come in and invite the public to it, and they get to speak and talk about what they're going to do, or maybe perhaps take questions. I don't know how they're going to do it. WTOK is talking about doing it also. If any one candidate will not come to any of those forums should still have that forum. If any one candidate, let's say Weston Linderman say, well, I'm not coming. Let's say, well, Robert Ray said, well, I'm not coming. Well, because Robert Ray is not coming, then the NAACP said, well, we're not going to have it. Well, NAACP, you're letting Robert Ray control it, and I'm using him as an example. You're letting Robert Ray control what the NAACP does. So the people deserve to know who it is that's going to represent them. And folks, damn it, the name of my show Thursday, my vote is for sale. You damn right my vote is for sale. I know that those of you out there that want to put me in jail say, oh, hell, he finna break the law. He's selling his vote. I want you to understand what I'm saying. When I go to a grocery store, I don't go in there and give the owner of that store the money and let him take my basket and go put what he want to in it. I go in that store and I pick out what I want, and I know exactly what it is that I'm getting and how much I'm going to pay for it. We need to know exactly what it is that we're getting from our politicians. We need to know exactly what it is that they're going to do. There's no way. Those days where we vote for people and don't know what it is that they're going to do or who it is going to be in their administration, if they don't tell us that, folks, then damn it, we don't need to give them our vote. Now, I don't care who it is. Now, y'all know I voted for Jimmy Smith in this thing, and I want to vote for Jimmy all the way to the end. But I want to know what I'm getting for my vote. I want to know that. I want to know now. Can't tell me you haven't made up your mind yet. You can't tell me that you don't know. I'm not going to accept that. There's no way that, I know smart people when I see it, and I consider Robert Ray, Jimmy Smith, and Weston Linderman to be pretty astute individuals. So I know that you got to know who it is that you're going to put here. Now, Weston Linderman say he's going to change out the entire department. Good thing. But Weston, I want you to tell me who it is. When I go into the grocery store, I don't just buy cereal. I buy a certain type of cereal. You understand what I'm saying? So I want to know who it is. I want to know what it is that I'm getting. I know I'm fixing to get something new, but I want to know what it is. I want to know who it is. Folks, do you realize that this election is up for grabs? It's up for grabs between three people. A lot of you out there done discounted Robert Ray, saying he won't get 100 votes. He won't get 50 votes. He won't get any votes. You don't know until it's a done deal. Well, let's take Robert Ray out of it. So then it's between Weston and Jimmy. So if it's between Weston and Jimmy, then Weston, Jimmy, I want to know who it is going to be my chief of police. I want to know who it is going to be my Parks and Recreation director. I want to know who it is going to be my city court judge. You cannot tell me that you're going to keep Chris Reed as my chief of police and expect me to vote for you. I'm going to name my reasons. Number one, I have trumped up charges on me, and they happened while he was the chief of police. Number two, Gary Barber. Davon Harvey, Levi Gibbs, the Hall young man, just to go on and on. Hold on, let me keep on. These are people that either been beaten or killed by the Meridian Police Department, all white group. This black guy killed Gary Barber. Now he's on the ICE unit. I don't know his name. Lolo know his name. We're going to open up the phone. So throw the phone line up there. Forgot, folks, we can't open up the phone lines because it's on that computer that got burned out. But, folks, we got to know. We got to. Folks, do you realize that a change has came? I am so glad that we got rid of Percy Bland. Now, I want to say this about Percy Bland. I said he's not that smart. He's not that smart, or he's one arrogant individual, but he's a dumb, arrogant individual. And the reason why I say that, because he allowed for his police officer to antagonize the citizens in this community. He allowed for his different department heads, such as Robert Jones, circuit judge. He just about every black person come in there, he do something that against them. I know that a young man got charged with domestic violence, not because his old lady charged him. And this just happened, folks, after person lost the election. Robert Jones gave this man felony DUI because the police officer said, and they go there, and I was in there, Triple T is going to get an expungement for some of the things that are on her misdemeanor case. And so I was in there, and I heard this lady fussing. She was fussing because Robert Jones, they went there to hey, why is he being charged? The police officer charged, but the police officer ain't seen anybody again. So Percy allowed for his police officer to arrest black folk. Percy, you made an enemy. You made somebody angry. Even if they had a felony conviction, their mama, their grandmama, their cousin, their friend, Percy, you made 1,000 people angry at your ass because that's how many votes you lost by. You were not smart enough to realize that if somebody came to you with a complaint about Scott Solid, you should address that. If somebody came to you and complained about your policemen, instead of taking up for them, you should have addressed that. Folks, we're tired. We're not going to let you come in, Western Lenderman, and continue the same thing. Jimmy, we're not going to let you come in and continue that either. Robert Ray, we're not going to let you come in and do that either. Now, look, I gotta be who I am. Now, I'm not trying to make anyone angry, but I got to tell you factual information. It is not good for any of us, folks, that's how you need to realize how important your vote are. If you are not registered to vote, you still can register as long as you register to vote prior to the 8th and vote in this election. This election is very important for us, folks. How is it that we can come so far? We can come so far. Lee Williams said, I come too far to give up now. Folks, we come too far to go back to where we came from. Now, I want to tell you this is that Latoya Brown was charged again, folks, with threatening a witness. Now, folks, guess what? Now, this is what I was told. Now, I know she was charged. But how is it that these charges are not over the air? But guess what, folks? It's still a charge. And I want to say this, is that Percy should have been charged too, folks, because Percy Bland, I'm told this, Percy Bland and Latoya Brown both, this is the ex-mayor of Meridian soon to be. And Toya Brown, who runs his State Farm agency, they both went on this witness job and tried to convince her to drop the charges against Ray and Latoya. Now, they charged Latoya, but they didn't charge Percy. See, that's the same thing with Lolo and I. We got charged. Everybody got charged, but they dropped the charge against everybody, man. How can you have selective enforcement of the law and expect it to be fair? Jimmy, how can things like this go on and you keep the chief of police? Weston, how can things like this go on and you keep the chief of police? Robert Ray, how can things like this go on and you keep the chief of police? If I have to meet with you, Robert Ray, and explain to you why we don't need to keep the chief of police or the city court judge, Robert Ray, I say this to you, then your ass ain't ready to be the mayor of this city here, because you should already know the reason why we voted for Jimmy Smith, because we want change. You should know the reason why we did not vote for Percy Bland because we tired of the things that he has been doing and his administrators been doing. Too many of you politicians out there taking my vote and my people vote for granted. You gotta, folks, don't let them do that to you. That's your choice. It's not their choice. It is not their choice. If they, damn it, want this job as mayor, damn it, they got to earn it. Make them tell us who our chief of police gonna be. Who is it gonna be in our city court? We don't want white folks. Don't get mad out there, white folks. Don't get mad at me. But damn it, we don't need white folks no more to run this city. Let us run it. Because when y'all was running, damn it, y'all didn't have black folks. It took years before you had a black chief of police. Years and years and decades before you had one or two tokens. Can we give y'all one or two tokens? Baby, folks, it's time. It's time for change. It's time. We cannot wait another 4 years to go and do this thing over and over again. We shown Percy that his kind of politics does not work. We got to show everybody else that their brand of politics don't work either. We cannot be taken for granted, folks. This vote is very important. Not for me, but for your children, our children and their children. Now, last week, I want to thank my guest, Rankin Easton, for being here, and Miss Teresa Gonzalez for being here. Very stellar guests. I want to thank them. And you know, they talked about all the things about inclusion. We talked about that, the things that you can do here. But folks, guess what? There's a lot of things here to do for certain groups of people, certain income level of folk. It's not anything for us to do in Western Garden. I know the Children's Museum, but I want to know what mother in Western Garden can pay $100 for a membership for 3 children. They can't. What mother in Western Garden can pay $25 to do anything? They can't. So we don't have anything. We don't have anything for them, for us. But you know what? I'm a supporter of Rankin Easton. I am. I hope she whooped the socks off George Thomas. I just really do, because it's time. George is almost 90 years old. Folks, why y'all still voting for him? Why? George, you're not going to be able to have your way. You're going to be a lame duck, because we got some pretty smart people that getting ready to come in and taking over the helm of the ship. So, George, won't you just go ahead on and just let Rankin Easton take the job? You should. You should call her in there and mentor her and tell her how the government works. But she's pretty smart. You ain't got to tell her nothing. I assure you, by the time she starts, she'll know how to do that job better than you. And I believe in her because I know she ain't going to do a lot of the things that you do. George, you ain't done nothing. Everybody knows you're a bigot, and everybody knows you're a racist. Everybody knows you don't care nothing about just your kind. And there's nothing wrong with that, George, but what's wrong with it is when it's to the detriment of everybody else in the community. And when I was telling you folks how Judge Robert Jones, man, just look at him. He's still doing things. He doesn't even practice law anymore. He sold his office. Percy Bland is so afraid, folks. He's so afraid of the corruption and all the illegal shit that he has done. He won't let any of his department head go. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Now, y'all ain't got to like this, but I'm finna tell you this, person. I know your ass watching this. Tell you this. You a fool. It ain't nowhere in hell I have a chief of police that would arrest somebody that worked for me and he'd still be my chief of police. I'm just telling you. Oh, you hear Two Bell, Dice Man? Two Bell saying, bro, what the hell you saying? Hell, he should fire Chris Reed. You should fire him. That man is attacking you. He's making you look bad. That man might have been instrumental in you losing your election. Now, I know what some of you saying out there to me. Why in the world are you talking about Chris Reed? Hell, Chris Reed don't give a damn about me. My bond was damn $225,000. I got 4 felony charges against me. What I'm going to be scared of? Going to jail? Hell, I've been to jail before, in prison. Scared of dying? Shit, I'm 67. I got 21 children. I don't know how many grandchildren and great-grandchildren I have. I don't have any great-grandchildren. Grandchildren. So I live forever through my seed. So I'm not afraid of anything. Person, there's something wrong with you. You let that man keep charging your folk. This is your main person. Latoya Brown is your main person. It's something wrong with you. If I was in your ear, I'd tell you to fire his ass. Let's talk about Brunel, folks. You know, Brunel you had an employee, her name was Kristen Mean, that worked at the front desk. When you went into Tracy, this is the lady that you kind of got into it with. She had got off and then came back and had something to say. Well, how about she charged acting Captain Brunel with sexual harassment? Instead of them firing him and investigating him. And guess what they do, folks? When she complained, they removed her from that position. Now they got her at Lakeview Golf Course. For those of you who don't know about Lakeview, in other words, they done put her in the woodshed. They done took her out of the police department like they done Lieutenant Jacks and put her up at Bonita Lakes. They done took and put her at Lakeview. See, that's what they do. All these things is going on, and we got to meet with you to tell you about what's going on. Hell, we voted Percy out. That tells you right there what's going on. We don't want his people working around us at all. Brenda Latimer needs to go. Everybody that's in a department head can be fired, should be fired. They have been instrumental in all the corrupt things that this mayor has been doing to the people in this city. And we want this stuff to change. So Brunel, instead of them firing him, instead of they doing them things, see, when you expose them, they get mad at you. They come after you. And they'll probably try to do something to me again because I'm telling you these things. See, they like WTOK and the Meridian Star. They didn't like it when I talked about Greg Gillard and how Robert Jones took this man here. A person should have fired him then. When he took Greg Gillard and his dad's name and put it on the NCIC for a civil case or divorce case, folks. This is what this administration been doing. And you expect us to want Robert Jones to continue on for hell no. And I gotta say this, Robert Ray, Weston Linderman, Jimmy Smith, it'll be something wrong with all three of y'all. All them people that working in these department heads does not even live in the city of Meridian. They can't vote for you. And then they're taking money from this city, from this county, and taking it to other counties in most cases. But you want us to vote for you so we can keep feeding these folk? Hell no. It's not going to do that. So if you want my vote, it's for sale, damn it. It's for sale. And what it costs you, it costs change. Change out those department heads and tell us what we going to get. How about you had both Chris Reed, you had Brunel, and you had Patrick Gale. All three of those could not pass the captain test. They could not pass none of those tests. And so you had people that was in position like Rita Jacks that made a higher score than everybody. And look what happened to her. Dubose didn't promote her. He could have, but he didn't. So he helped perpetuate racism and discrimination even under his tenure. And Chris Reed showing up doing, look at people like Chris Scott and Ant Ball, how they've been treated by this administration and these folk here. Folks, look, let me tell you what we need. We have a lot of stellar attorneys that are black in this city, such as Dustin Markham and Joseph Denson. Y'all know I talk about them, especially Joseph Denson, because his light is shining now. But Dustin is very, very good attorney. We need a black prosecutor. We need a black city court judge. We need a black public offender. We need a black everything, because they got all white down there now. So how is it that we have to keep accepting? Why do we got to give them? Why do we have to have another, put another white person in there so it don't look bad? Damn it, it's been looking bad for us all this time. Sure, Jesus don't need no bodyguard. God don't need no bodyguard. Samson don't need no help. Hercules don't need no help. White folks don't need no help. They're the ones that's in power and authority. We don't need to do nothing for us. It's us that's in dire strait. We thought this rascal that we just got rid of was going to give us all this. He lied to us, folks, and he did not. He don't give a damn about us. But he getting ready to starve right now because he can't afford to live in that mansion out there. I remember, Percy, I was with you when you ran in 2013 and 1. I was with you when you was paying for everything by credit card, taking care of Mike Goggins, taking care of the Thompson family, taking care of yourself. You ain't going to be able to afford yourself now. But, folks, let me tell y'all something else, too, now. Now, this is what I was told. If it's wrong, I was told to me. Or that person telling his supporters to vote for Jimmy Smith because Jimmy Smith is not going to ask for an investigation into the police department and the finances. He said he know that Western Linderman is going to ask for an investigation in the police department. We know it too because he tried to get it done on the previous city council and they wouldn't vote for it. And he know that he's going to investigate those finances. He seemed to think that Jimmy Smith won't do that. Percy, I don't believe that. There's no way that you're going to make me believe that Jimmy Smith would take on this job and not investigate your police department and not investigate your finances. Anybody that go in office after, when you got a snake in office, when you have a rascal in office, folks, you know it is your duty to have a forensic accountant to come in there. Now, folks, it's some people that's good enough to come in here and fix this thing. So, again, Christamine was sexually harassed by Brunel. He was placed on the patrol unit, back on patrol. He's over the Alpha team. And instead of them doing anything, and that's what they do. So they get shifted around, folks. And the problem is that you have unqualified people. So I'm going to tell you this, Robert Ray. I'm going to tell you this, Jimmy Smith. And I'm going to tell you this, Western Linderman. Rita Jacks need to be your chief of police. And I'm going to tell you why. Because she made a higher score than all the people that are there now. That's her boss. She trained Coleman. They use her to train folks. Anybody you bring in there, Jimmy, anybody you bring in there, Robert, anybody you bring in there, Western Linderman, Rita Jacks still there, she going to have to train them. That's some bullshit. We don't need to do that anymore. It's been too much time when we have to. I remember my brother Tool Bell, he ran Tucker Gutter Service, and they brought this white boy in, and my brother trained him, and when my brother trained him, they fired my brother. And I had owned this house on the corner of 20, I'm going to tell you what it is, y'all let me think, on 30th Avenue and 19th Street. It used to be a blue house right there. And I said, bro, go fix that house. He said, bro, I don't know how to do that stuff. I said, shoot, bro, go in there and learn. Fix it and learn. And that was the beginning of the Tool Bell story. Now he's one of the best, everything. Do everything I can do. It's all in his head. He can draw blueprints, read it. I don't care what it is, he can fix it. And so, my point of it is that we cannot we got the talent there. Why is this stuff so personal? How is it that somebody gonna come and tell you anything bad about Rita Jacks? She's still there. They have twice done, this administration done her and mistreated her and them fired her, and she have won and came back both times. She has the education. She has a master's degree, over 25 years of experience. Done ran every apartment, everything. What the hell wrong with y'all? Why is this an argument? Oh, she's a black female. Oh, somebody that don't work in there don't like her. Oh, if we hire her, everybody gonna quit. All them rascals talking about quitting their ass is corrupted. They on drugs, they on steroids, they stealing, they doing something, they stealing time, they taking drugs out there on the state and putting it back in the community. All of them doing something wrong. Let their ass go. If we gonna rebuild this city, Western, Robert, Jimmy, go around Meridian and look at it. If you want to know about the police department, ask Anthony Ball. Don't ask me. Ask Chris Scott. Ask Thomas Van. He got a lawsuit against the city of Meridian. His lawyer, Abbott Robinson, filed it in federal court last week against, yes, Anderson, against Chris Reed, against Brunel, against Percy Bland, against the Meridian City Council, because you guys, you're not there anymore, but y'all empowered this rascal. It's called governing authority. I hope the people come in there do this. Look, let me tell y'all something. I'm in pretty good shape. I don't have any health issues. Tool Bell said, bro, you might be dead tomorrow. He's right. I might be, but it ain't going to be because I have health issues. The way I can get up and get down and move around and run and things like that, I think I live to be 100. I said that to say this, is that I'm going to be here 4 years from now, and I'm going to be your worst damn nightmare. Just like Fannie Johnson is gone, you will be gone too. You understand that? We're not going to let you come in there and do what you want to and cater to a certain group of people that don't have any interest in this community other than making money and enriching themselves. More money than they'll ever be able to spend in their lifetime. It's got to be wrong, something wrong with somebody that would take somebody from another county. They can't even vote for you. Ask them, Jimmy. All them people's in your ear. Ask them, can they vote for you? All them people want you to keep a job. Ask them, can they vote for you? You do the same thing, Robert Ray. Weston, you do the same thing. They're going to tell you no. Then look at their report card and see what it is that they're doing. What has happened on their watch. But basically, go down there and look how bad Jimmy Smith whooped Percy Bland. That's 1,000 people don't like what's going on. If we wanted things to remain the same, we'd have kept Percy. And I'm going to say this to the NAACP. The NAACP, you need to move forward with your town hall meeting or whatever you call it. Whoever don't come, let them don't come. That's on them. WTOK, move forward with your town hall meeting. Again, folks, I'm getting ready to close out. I want you to leave your comments. We're not going to take a break or anything like that. Again, like I said, we burned our hard drive. I want to say this is that all of you guys, I appreciate you watching. Y'all share this video and tell somebody to watch it. I want to say this about the ministers, the black ministers in the black community. You have failed us. You have failed this community. Because every Sunday you go there and you always trying to raise money for the building fund, but you ain't doing no building. I think Jesus said it best, builder of men. You understand? Instead of building buildings, he said, upon this rock I build my church. He ain't talking about no rock that is in the streets. He was talking about the rock is the people, and then the church is the enlightenment and the wisdom that is needed in order for us to go to that next spiritual level. And you haven't been doing that, black ministers. I think that we in for a cleansing. I think that all you ministers need to go ahead on and resign and get out of the way, and we need a new progressive leadership. And I see that the NAACP has a new leadership. I hope that leadership is more progressive. We need that progressiveness. All you old heads, y'all need to sit down. Y'all need to get out of the way and let young people like Inspire Walker, like Rankin Easton. You need to let, and Ty Bell. We need to get out of the way and let these young people. And Dwayne Davis, look here. You in there, but look, we still watching you. We're not going to accept for you to go to parties and then listen to what somebody say that can't even vote for you, and then it's adverse to this community. Before you start doing anything adverse in this community, you need to talk to your constituents and find out if it's something they want. I want to thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys Thursday. Well, Marie Franklin will be here Thursday, and so far I don't have a guest, but I can tell you for sure that Western Linderman will be here next Tuesday. I want to thank you guys for watching, and Dice Man, take us home. Only thing we're going to do is sign off, folks. We don't have music. Am I right, Dice? Okay. All right. Peace out.